snares to no avail, their wives simply left to wonder, closed in their homes, why doesn't she take her virgin magic and disappear? And the one woman closes her eyes, gathers these very common stories, and closes herself in a very quiet room and gilds the walls with crushed iron ore. The owl's mournful eyes, a matron cedar tree's lovely narrow and braided trunks, and draws a woman curiously loved walking all alone.
Before Michaela starts, I would like to ask the people over there in the corner to please lower your voices. We can hear you up here and it's very disrupting.
Thank you.
In the realms of the mind. In the realms of the mind, time is not linear. It layers from the here and now back to there and then slides to where and when you be, yesterday, today, tomorrow. Allowing you to borrow from fragments. In the realms of the mind, time is not linear. It layers from the here and now back to there, and then he injected his erection into her unwholeness of self without protection. What she was really fucking was her Jones for affection. Alone with her Jones at night, eyelids closed tight, make believing the self-love she lacked could be made laying on her back and forth, in and out, back and forth, in and out of reality she glided. The realms of her mind resided in the plane with his game of Russian roulette. Him roll the die and her bed of death was the stakes, but cat number X always seemed to take something extra. Parts of her no one knew existed. Time is not linear, it layers from the here and now back to there, and then she listed quick fix number infinite with a tally mark on the bedboard of her head. She thought had a single soul bothered to inquire, she might have said her love for self was kidnapped, self-respect slapped in its face. See, as a little girl, she was raped repeatedly. At first it was physical, but was just as dismal as after that it was mentally. Men telling her who to be, continually raped emotionally. And somewhere along the wicked way, she'd lost her capability to see the love that she really needed could only come from what she harbored inside. But to herself, she lied on her back, guessing. Soon he'd ask the question, baby, do you mind if I put it in this game of Russian roulette? Him stick her up with a revolver that she thought could solve her problems. Containing 3 bullets in the chamber of his erected gun, H-I and V ejected when he came for fun. But she came for love, looking in all the wrong places, all those anonymous faces. Couldn't find what she thought she lost, and she was guessing. Soon he'd ask the question, baby, can I put it in the realms of the time? The realms of the mind, time is not linear. It layers from the here and now back to there, and then slides to where and when you be, yesterday, today, tomorrow. With eyes of a sorrow, she paused for a while and answered yes with a smile. And then she slid to where and when she'd be, tomorrow, yesterday, today. She quietly slipped away, and no one saw her loveless tears cried, 'cause she was all alone when she died.
This is for those hip cats with baggy pants and skull caps, b-boy babies on the mental trip doing the splits and backflips, that funky shit. You know, that psychedelic clique that's so out of it, they're hip-hop. It was not my intention to step into the spot to find some meat, but when I saw this specimen, he was so complete. Every beat, every line, fine. Chills up my spine. Damn, I wish he was mine. Now, he wasn't just talking nonsense, but a freestyle on the real, with every freaking sentence. Man, if he can say that shit off the top of the dome, I wonder what he would whisper in my ear if we were all alone. I'm thinking he could talk me into almost anything. I don't know if I can handle the shit he might bring, make me sing a song I've never sung, sprung on his lyrics and his stature. Hard fracture if I let his words take advantage of my mind, but something about this kid tells me he's one of a kind. I'm blind with that shit he say. I'm focused on this kid in every way, every day, but he doesn't even know my name. Stuck in this freeze frame, he probably thinks I'm just some dame, the same as all the rest who try to blow up his chest. But this quest that I'm on, it's not of a groupie shallow visions, because every time he looks my way into my heart, he makes incisions with mad isms he prescribes, and although his vision's killing me, his rhymes are keeping me alive, feeding me with his verbal IV. Yo, that shit he say, it's pure poetry. I could listen all night, no matter what he say to me. Speak that poetry, bring that flow to me, wrap your verse around me, never let go. See, his lyrical inventions seem to make me high, and the words just escape him as if he doesn't even have to try, and I can hardly speak when I know that he's near. And even though we've never spoken, I know he's seen me standing here. Clear as day. Damn, I dig that shit he say. His every move, his every way is embedded in my brain. I can't hold back any longer. I just can't refrain from letting him know that I can feel that shit. I inhale every syllable and absorb every last bit of his vocal exquisiteness. There's no way I can deny it. You know, if they sold that shit in a bottle, every MC would buy it so they could study his craft and build a style from his own. Though no MC will ever work their way into his own. He stands alone with the mic in his hand, and when he sees me watching him, he thinks I'm just another loyal fan. Damn. That shit he say, it's pure poetry. I could listen all night, no matter what he say to me. Speak that poetry, bring that flow to me, wrap your verse around me, never let go, yo. Speak that poetry, bring that flow to me, rap, rap, rap.
Steel irony, brass with class, or 14-karat gold. It doesn't matter how old or young, because I'm sure we've all sprung around, up and down, and gotten dizzy. But as long as your hair doesn't get frizzy, you'll be okay, because our DNA is the same. Now, though most is a game, there's a very small yet tall and majestic minority that at the same time are the majority of intelligence. This poem makes sense to me, for I know myself, you see. In the past year, I've seen many tears and fears unnecessary because fear is quite contrary to the truth, which can be found in the youth of this country. It's all a fallacy and always will be even after the turn of the century that's coming. So my people, start drumming your drums and stop twiddling your thumbs. Prioritize and make your goal to capitalize your head, because we really need some more knowledge, hypothetical, critical, and literal. Because if we aren't all complete, it'll be too easy for us to defeat ourselves. We're all drowning in the wells of 10,000 lakes. Let's just grab onto the stakes called simplicity, because the current technology will be shook the fuck up in about 440 days. So look up to the sun rays and prevent cancer. We've got to all find this answer, because time is speeding up and we need to move backwards in history to find the mystery and confusion in the revolution.
But you know what, Danae? It's already Friday in Rio. It's already Friday in Rio, yeah, we keep time. In Rome, New York, and Paris, Rocky Mountain time. But you know, that's just the sun on the run, woman. I knew this one sister, a woman who I dismissed at first. Damn, overweight, white looking, and I couldn't teach myself anything about her. Nothing. And a couple of days later, she surprised me, committed an act braver and more desperate than any of my own. She bent protocol in search for her name, and I witnessed how a woman can shape fierce hope into one whisper. And I was afraid for her and indebted to her. In the same moment I spoke her name out loud, I tell you it's a superior name in age alone, older than Agassi, and I guess in a funny way it's a rock carver's name. A woman's name made young, and I know a sister who sets her watch by her blood's own cycle of shadows and sublunar articles. And I know tick, tick, drop, pop, pop, and I told her that's what's written on the face of the moon. And then there's this one guy's grandson, no wait, great-great-great-grandson who kept an open face and a clock and bent its hands around 20 minutes back or 30 minutes faster because he knew it would not change time at all. That's what I'm talking about. And sometime from now, someone will ask us here and now and study us and say, yeah, that's just what they did back then.
This one's a little less spoken wordish and more poetry, and there's a difference because it's like the element of performance in spoken word. Because this one's like, not that the other ones aren't, it's from the heart. Like I'm sure a lot of other people out here struggling with this mic. Yeah, I watched my mother get beat by the man that calls himself my father. This one's called A Fucked Up Sense of Love. A fast fist and rushed temper that freezes little hearts. That fucked up kind of love will tear your soul apart. And innocent little minds left to ponder in the dark, fearful